teacher, myself, Mr. McCofka, everybody who would need to know that we have a signed confidentiality agreement such that this person would now be able to see Aiden on campus.
Yet,
but I'm just telling you.
You guys knew she was coming.
I did not know.
Yes, you did when I spoke to you personally on Tuesday. Me and you were on the phone when you came back. And all of this started because I was on with him the following Monday. When me and you had talked, I told you that Miss Yola would be coming to school. He was made aware that she would be coming sometime later in the week. You were made aware that she would be coming.
That maybe I forgot that. I forgot that you told me. But has nothing to do with what you're saying, that on Friday I was made aware of her presence on campus and somehow disallowed her to visit the classroom. That is not the case. Jenny talked to her personally, as she does with all service providers.
Yep, she was very kind, very nice.
That was the only point of contact. The only contact I had that day was an email. At which point I was told that she had now submitted the paperwork that allows her to see students on campus, to see Aiden on campus. That was all. So I just want to clarify that one particular point. I have no problem taking responsibility for all the other missteps, as I've already said. But on that particular point, there is nothing to the point that I somehow messaged or disallowed her visiting the classroom. That is not the case. Jenny did talk to her, and as always, when a service provider, any service provider, is on campus for the first time, there's a bit of a process making sure that we got all the paperwork. That usually does not coincide with the first visit to the classroom. I just wanted to clarify that particular point.
Okay. Well, our information is butting heads because Miss Yola had called me and talked to me personally and advised me otherwise. And she said that she got a very unwelcoming warning from his teacher and said that she's not allowed to come into his class unless she gives him 24-hour notice. And that's not how her services work.
As I mentioned, and we'll clarify that on Monday, I mentioned, our blanket visitor policy is such that unless we have our blanket visitor policy for all purposes is 24 hours notice. That is typically not the case for service providers. Typically, that was her first visit to campus, as far as I'm aware, at least for Aiden, to see Aiden. Is that correct?
For Aiden, yes.
Yes. So the way it typically works is that whenever a counselor comes to campus the first time, it is not to see the student. It's for them to drop off the paperwork to make sure that everything's set up for the future. And teachers are then made aware, as Mrs. Kuhn's email made teachers aware, that we have this signed agreement, and that is not the same as, excuse me, let me just finish. So Mr. Toft, his knowledge, because he had no knowledge that there was going to be a visit ahead of time, at least not as far as I'm aware.
No, he did not.
So when she went to class, he knew nothing about the fact that who she was or anything about it. So he reverted to our visitor policy, which is 24 hours notice. There is nothing more to it than that in that particular case. I just want to clarify that.
Typically, that's what I want to address to you is you say typically. This is not a typical situation.
I understand, and I know it's not going to be a satisfactory answer at all, but that policy exists for all service providers for any student on campus. So the Friday incident or the Friday situation was not specific to Aiden or Miss Yola in any way. It was circumstances that Mr. Toft knew nothing about the visit, that it was her first visit on campus to set up for future visits.
Can you acknowledge the fact that because you say that it wasn't made to seem that way, that with all of the things that have been happening with Aiden and everything that's going on, it was absolutely felt by both me and Miss Yola.
No, I acknowledge that.
That
I could see it. I do acknowledge that. I do.
Okay.
And I can see it was one more example to it goes along with everything else. I'm just trying to convince you, and I want you to recognize that I haven't pushed back on anything else. I've freely admitted our shortcomings. I'm trying to make a point on this particular case that it was isolated from the rest of it.
I hope.
Mr. Toff knows nothing about Miss Yola. He had no idea. So all teachers, especially now, are just more aware of visitor policy and adults that come on campus, show the proper documentation at the office that all those things are in place. And to his knowledge, none of that had happened, so he responded in the moment.
I hope that this does not continue on. She is a very vital part to Aiden's mental health and to him growing as a person, and for him to be able to maintain the demeanor that he has right now. We don't want him to lose that spark that he has, and he absolutely has it.
And we will never. I mean, we are thrilled. The more adults that come on campus to work with our kids, the better. So on that particular point, we're glad that he has somebody, and the same for any other kid. Got another adult in our corner, great. Especially mental health, especially for mental health services.
Especially right now.
Especially right now.
I want us all to be on the same page. The only thing that I want out of any of this is my child to be treated like every other child on this school. That is all we want, literally.
I want that too. I know it doesn't. I understand how it probably sounds, and maybe it sounds hollow or rings untrue, but I want that too.
I just can't fathom why, if everyone's on the same page with what we want to happen, why that's not happening.
And yeah, I don't have a good answer for that. It's a combination of our missteps, not being clear, not being on the same page ourselves, and happening happening quickly, happening the first time, not being clear, and it's resulted in too many mistakes. And I deeply apologize. I do. I'm trying not to make excuses. I just am apologizing because this is not the way Aiden's year should have started at all. And I am hopeful that as of Monday we'll be on the same page. And if you bring him to school tomorrow, I will guarantee that he will be probably with Mr. McCofka, not positive, but probably with Mr. McCofka, unless we have another certificated teacher available. We haven't had someone available every day.
I know you guys are short-staffed.
So at the very least, he'll be with Mr. McCofka, who is also a certificated teacher. And that what happened today happened again.
What's happening right now is you guys are just being glorified babysitters for my child instead of him actually being allowed to have curriculum. Why isn't he doing exactly what his class is doing? That's a legitimate question. Why is he not doing exactly what his class is doing right now? In Mr. McCofka's room. Why is he not doing exactly what they're doing? That's what I was assuming when you had told me that he would be doing independent studies and he would be doing his iReady and his laptop work, his paperwork, and actual instruction. That was what I was informed by you when we had our little conference call, that he was actually going to be having some kind of education, not sitting in the vice principal's office all day.
We are trying to get tomorrow will be better. We're trying to get closer.
You've had all week. And you guys literally have failed all week. It is now Thursday. Friday is the last day of the week, and he has literally not been able to catch up with class. So now my child, not only because last year everyone was out of school, is he behind. Now you guys are forcing him to be further behind instead of allowing him to have the same kind of education that everyone else in the class is having. Do you realize how horrible that is? For an 8-year-old. 3rd grade. 3rd grade is very important. It teaches them the structures of sentence building and storytelling and reading and writing and mathematics. It is a very important grade for a child. And you guys are denying him the simple aspect of an education. You affirmed to me, you assured me that my child would be continued learning, and he's not.
Yeah, if he's at school tomorrow, that will be better. That will improve. I'm sorry for what has happened today, yesterday, and the day before.
How can you continue to assure me and tell me that things are going to happen when you haven't followed through on anything you said you were going to do?
Okay, we're going over the same ground, and I've apologized, and we're gonna try to improve. I can't make anything better that's already happened. So I will look ahead to tomorrow.
Okay. I want to be assured, which is like beating a dead horse, that my child will not be treated differently, will not be reprimanded for me being upset on his behalf, like he has been already. I want to be assured that you will treat him with respect and the way that an 8-year-old should be treated. Not take the frustrations of the situation out on him anymore.
Fair enough. Yes. I would expect that too.
And I expect that if he's not, he has been informed to call home like he did today. He does not feel like he's being treated like every other child. That's why he's feeling the way he's feeling. His anxiety and his insecurities manifest in physical ailments like a headache or a stomach ache. That is how he's dealing with what's going on with him.
I understand.
So when he's telling you guys that he doesn't feel good, it's because he's having an anxiety attack, because he feels like he's being treated poorly. Not fair. Mr. Fred witnessed Miss Lynn segregating my child from the rest of the class, stopping him from being allowed to even sit down at his class. I want to be assured, going forward, that's never going to happen again.
Okay.
I want him to be just like every other child
I understand.
here.
I understand.
That's my goal.
I understand. And that's our responsibility is to make sure that even given the specifics of his individual circumstance, that he feels the same way, that he feels like he's treated like everybody else. And that what are adult issues or adult concerns stay adult, and that from teacher to kid, from a staff member to kid, is just that relationship. So that is our goal too.
I'm waiting to hear back from Miss Yola. I hope she can be present on Monday.
Okay.
I will have my husband here.
Okay. I just emailed you a meeting invitation for Monday, and I asked you to forward it to her if she's going to be able to be on campus. So
All right.
we'll be meeting in one of our classrooms, so we'll have enough space for everyone to join.
We have antibodies, so I can send
don't
my
take it that direction. I'm just telling you that we won't be all squeezed into my small office, that we will have a larger room. That's all I'm saying.
I will provide you with my negative COVID test. I have to get one every week anyways.
Yes, I understand that.
So, and then also with Aiden and Wyatt, since you had already emailed me, we will go and get them tested this week just to be safe. Tomorrow we will get them tested.
All right.
Just to be safe.
If so, one of the things, just as far as Miss Yola being on campus, we clarified yesterday, just for any service provider. So this is just in her case, She's already been cleared by the district as far as fingerprinting
Yes.
and TB test. She will, when she is on campus, she'll need to bring the same.
Yeah,
proof of
and that's, I'm assuming
I'm-
she's aware of that.
I think she is, and if not, we're gonna contact her. Do you have a number to contact her?
I do.
Okay, would you mind sharing that with me now?
Yes, I can.